Hi, my name's Katie Koch, and I'm Director of Design at American Express. And I'm here to talk to you today about a project that we call UX Framework. So I'm going to start just by sharing our submission video so you can see kind of what this project's all about.
American Express has a long history of offering premium products and services for typically a more affluent audience. We here at American Express realized, though, that we could do good by bringing our expertise in financial services to a wider audience, and maybe even begin to shift the perception people have of financial institutions as a whole. Long story short, it was this idea that led us to create American Express Serve in 2011. Serve is unlike any product American Express has offered before. As a prepaid, reloadable card, Serve was created specifically to meet the needs of the unbanked and underbanked, a group of consumers who either don't have a bank account or are unhappy with their existing bank relationship. Serve allows customers to take control of their finances and manage their money on their own terms, without hidden fees, credit checks, or minimum balance requirements. Given our historical focus on credit and charge card products, we had to challenge all of our previous assumptions about how to build a financial product like Serve.
One of the examples I gave.
We found that the needs of this consumer group are ever-changing and growing, so we needed to build our product to be adaptable and easily updated. To bring our vision to life, we settled on a two-pronged approach, creating a responsive web experience for our customers while optimizing our tech platform to allow for rapid enhancements. We wanted to challenge the perception that financial companies may not be known for speedy change. We took the time to overhaul our technological platform and focused on building a modular, scalable, pattern-based system that relied on one code base for all devices. As a business, the new framework allows us to rapidly prototype, test, and release new features as we learn more about our customers. That brings us to our other goal, responsive web. Responsive was not a buzzword for us. It was about making Serve accessible. Many of our users lack access to desktop computers and rely primarily on mobile browsing to get the job done. The result of our redesign is not only a beautiful responsive website, but also one that just makes managing and moving your money easier. Whether that means quickly and easily adding money to your card while out shopping for groceries, or transferring money to your kid's sub-account for an upcoming field trip. The design puts what customers need up front, dialing down confusion and upping engagement across the entire site. The result? We like to think of it as the future of financial management. Serve is a product that has been built from the ground up for the customers, ready to meet their needs as they change. Serve is more than a prepaid card. It's an alternative to traditional banking in the palm of your hand. We don't think of this as merely making a website responsive. We think of it as making managing your money better.
So when I tell people that I work at American Express, they usually get really excited. They're like, oh my God, I love my Amex card. Did you do that awesome thing with Twitter? The answer is no. But I do work on this product. Usually when people have that response, I think it's indicative of the kind of persona that we have as a company. People are usually familiar with those products geared to the affluent, but I think when we created Serve, we were setting out to do something completely different. We wanted to address a different kind of audience for American Express, using the expertise that we have in building financial products and applying it to this new audience of underbanked. There's about 34 million individuals who fit the FDIC's description of this audience. They're people who have engaged in some sort of alternative financial behavior. That could be paying your bills in cash at a CVS because you don't have a bank account from which to write a check. It could be going to a check cashing center on payday and actually turning in your check and getting cash back so that you can do things with that money. It could be getting a payday loan or a title loan, these kind of sharky loans that you can go and get a short-term cash advance money, but you have to put down the title for your car in exchange, and if you don't pay it back in 2 weeks, sorry. There's a lot of these people, and I think in the research that we started doing for Serve, we realized that there are a lot of problems with the traditional financial system. I was surprised to learn that half of US households couldn't come up with $2,000 in the event of an emergency. That's startling. We also discovered that Americans who are earning about $20,000 a year, annual income, spend $1,200 on check cashing and money orders each year. It's really expensive to be poor. If you don't have a bank account and you don't have access to traditional financial products, it's very difficult to move your money. Those are things that you and I probably take for granted. Your bank account does all that for you. But these people aren't strangers. These are people just like you and I who are working jobs. Sometimes they're working 2 jobs. They don't get out of work until midnight and the bank is closed. So the quickest way to get access to their money is to go and cash that check. It's not such a strange behavior when you start to think about it. Knowing that we wanted to address this audience, we launched Serve in 2011. And when we started out, we really didn't know very much about our audience. This was our first iteration of the product. We had some UX problems, I will be the first to say. This lovely navigation across the top changed on each page. This sidebar on the left-hand side had quick actions, but it wasn't always the same across all the pages. And we had an information architecture that even our product team couldn't understand. We really found the limits of our system when we built this new deals feature. We realized that that left sidebar really isn't doing us any help, and we don't know where to put new things in the navigation because it changes on every page. During this project, we also found a lot of opportunity to improve our technical platform as well. As we started thinking about how we could really seize this opportunity, we knew that we needed a system that would fit both our users' needs and that would be adaptable and easily updated for us. When I talk to people about this target user group, their first reaction is usually, oh, well, you probably don't have to do anything very sophisticated because they're low income, they don't know how to use the internet. That's wrong. This is a customer group that often doesn't have an internet connection at home because they don't have a desktop computer. They're doing everything on their mobile device, and they're probably better at it than I am. So we started thinking about a redesign of the site that would be completely responsive, that could address those user needs of being on a mobile device, and also create a streamlined user experience for them. Like many products, Serve is built on a platform. We have a database, we have service layers that deliver our core functionality to the interface. We started thinking about this idea of a UX framework being a layer of that platform, a layer that could contain guidelines and rules for user experience design, as well as how it would behave on the back end. We thought it would be even better if we could have modules as part of that framework that were bug tested and controls group approved for legal and compliant behavior in the marketplace. Enter the UX framework. It's how we think about our user experience. It's a system that can be accessible on any device that's a way for us to deliver the benefits and security of American Express to this audience. It also provides a lot of benefits to us as a design team that I'll speak about in a little bit. Taking the house metaphor, which is the best metaphor in the world, you can think about it as a house. Our product is really the core of the house. Our basic functions, things like signing up for the product, having a dashboard when you get there, adding money to it, and seeing where your money got spent, those are all essential functions. And then we think about our features really as the garage or the annex. We can add as many as we need and just keep building. But underneath all of that is the UX framework. It's the plumbing. To do the UX framework, we really needed a set of rules and systems that could be flexible. So we created a transactions framework that would tell us how to deal with transactions as customers do them. It would help us categorize and filter them for our customers, a notification system, and a way to handle errors across the entire platform. We also built in interaction patterns and a code library that work hand in hand, and that's something that we keep updated. So once we had that vision in mind, we had to get started. And how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So we started with a module inventory. We took our entire site and captured every interaction that a customer has with the product. That allowed us to start to cut some redundant functionality and recombine the pieces that we had in a way that was more meaningful for our customers. Early in our process, we did a lot of paper prototyping and rapid iteration. We had a lot of ideas for how we might possibly show these transactions and help people figure out what to do with their money. And we used sliding phone images and quick testing around the office when we couldn't get out to users to really understand what made sense. We also gutted our information architecture and navigation. We wanted to transform the terms that we know about banking into terms that our customers really understand about how to manage their money, because they think about it differently than the traditional financial services that we know. We also did that transactions framework that I mentioned. We have about a little over 200 different kinds of transactions, which may sound a lot, but your bank probably has all the same ones. We wanted to boil those down into a few categories that would really help us understand how we could consistently display the transactions and have UX patterns for doing that in the future. And finally, we created a pattern library, both of code and design, of those modular components that we can easily grab and spin up into a new experience. What we have today is a fully responsive product that has an excellent navigation that's been tested, pieces that we can recombine easily as we need to. So what's next for us? We have a flexible and agile platform, but we're already thinking about what we can do next. As a design team, we're building more on top of our clean slate. What we have today is a strong foundation for building on top of. So when we have new ideas, we can quickly sketch them and think about how they're going to work in our system. We're also extending the UX framework. We've created a design toolkit for our team that has all of those modular components on cards. It helps us facilitate brainstorming sessions and meetings with our partners to really know how we can recombine those pieces. And finally, we're scaling elegantly. We can quickly create those new experiences just with a designer and a developer sitting down and hashing it out together, whether it's a sketch or in code. We can go straight there. And lastly, I'm excited to share with you that in August, we had our second major milestone. We did everything with the UX framework in our mobile apps. And so now we have a complete product experience that's based on those patterns that allows us to scale quickly and elegantly. Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to take questions. I think there's some time.
Yeah, I have no clue what your product does. I just don't get it, but...
You live in Ireland?
Yeah.
We're a prepaid card. So rather than a credit card where you spend and then pay for it later, you put your money on it first, just like you would in your bank. So it's like a debit card, but it's functionally a little bit different.
And so how do people load it?
Through a variety of ways. You can add cash and at a physical location. You can also deposit a check through the mobile app. You can direct deposit into it. You can load with a debit card or credit card. Any way that you can think of, you can do.
And is there a fee? Like if I bring the check to you?
Yeah, that's actually how we compete in the marketplace. We have a $1 monthly fee and no fees for anything else.
Ah, okay.
Our competitors have much higher fees. That's what I intended to say. Yeah. Yeah.
Katie, how do you integrate user research into that process? I know you were kind of focusing on the design process. Can you look at where customer research is fitting in?
In the development of this project, we did a lot of research, both in the concept validation phase and toward the end of the process, doing more usability-focused testing. But the concept development phase, we definitely took sketches and showed them to people in a lab and got their feedback. A lot of that was with prospective users because we didn't have a very large user base at the time. But today we also do consistent testing with our active users to really understand how the updates that we're making are impacting them. Thank you.